Well,
Because he could.
I left on pretty good terms. And Jim Horton, don't get me wrong, Jim Horton is one hell of a builder. But Brian Sarah says, no money. And I knew I was in trouble. We took a set of heads off the car because they were shot. We put them up on the shelf. And we got racing and we was doing pretty good, but then those heads broke. And he said, well, we probably got more races out of these other heads on the shelf. Now we're going to heads off the shelf that were shot. And I said, oh, well, I'm in trouble here now. So that's when I went back to Norcia. But the first time I left, it was kind of like Billy. You know, you get cocky. You know, I did pretty good in the car. You get cocky. It's no more the car, it's the driver. You know what I mean? And if you don't have the car, you ain't going to go. It's as simple as that.
Billy, talk about your relationship with Richie Evans. You just got introduced to NASCAR Hall of Fame. How did that all come about? You being a dirt guy, Richie being a pavement guy.
Well, I guess it started. No, it didn't. It started in snowmobile, actually. We used to go up to a place called Northwest Passage up on Tughill. And somehow we got hooked up sledding, and then, you know, that was just like a couple times in the winter, and then we got, we both went to Syracuse. I'm going to say it was, I was driving statewide, so I'm going to say it was 73 or 4. And we flew, Richie was running one of the other statewide cars, and he had to fly to Martinsville, and I was flying back to Windsor. Lou and I were going for the championship at Windsor, and we flew back. Gary and I didn't get to the airport in time. And Richie, of all people, his wife flew for U.S. Air. She was a stewardess, and he got the plane. They literally put one of these ladders that go out. You know, I don't know what you want to call them, set of steps. They put it right out onto the airport, right out, not in the runway, but the plane had already locked down to go, and got us in that plane. And basically, that was the start of, you know, the friendship. The guy he was a great guy. And in my estimation, the best, especially on this one. But he could drive it. And he, you know, I mean, everything he did was, he knew it. It wasn't like I'm guessing about it. You know? That was the way it was going to go, and it was going to go too. And then we bought this whole hotel together. And then we got Silver 85. I ended up buying the other half of the hotel out. We had a great bunch of years there.
Now you just sold the hotel right back to his daughter and Tommy's
His daughter, who looks just like, acts just like. Great kid. Yeah, and Tommy Farrell. Right.
Don't hit the groomer.
Huh? Don't hit the groomer.
Make it out of the field.
Richie said when I was up there, running around, he said, you got to watch out for a groomer. I said, don't worry about it. I went around the corner and hit the groomer.
Actually, I think I got more knots on me from those snowmobiles and never thought about getting on a race car.
Billy, how did statewide you come together before?
Actually, that was 73 when I left with Dad, and Dick Cozy actually called me up. You know, I went and talked with Dick, and I guess everybody, whoever been around it long enough knows what Dick Cozy's like. You know, I mean, he talked to me, showed me the cars, got all done, and I'm standing there waiting for him to say, well, okay, you got to drive. And he says, I'll talk to you, Billy. Okay. So now I'm walking out. Now it's coming into like Christmas and that time of the year. And I'm going, this doesn't look good. I'm not getting any phone calls. I'm not going to have a ride. So Smith had called one night. And one of the Taylor boys was, I don't remember which one was driving for him. I don't remember, it was Lee. But called up and he said, would you be interested in driving? And I said, well, I'll come and look. And I went down to see him and all. I kind of had in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking about going with Dick, you know. And I said, well, I'll let you know. I'm going to go home. I had one other person I want to make sure that I'm not making a mistake in going the wrong direction. And so I went home and I called Dick and he says, well, I'm thinking about it, Billy. He says, I'll let you know. And I said, what is this? This was the second I'm thinking about it. So I turned around and I went with statewide. A week later, Dick calls me up and he says, well, you got the ride. And I went, yeah. And that was the story. I ended up with statewide.
The first car was the Pinto, right? You drove from?
Yeah. That was at Eversole. Terry Eversole actually built it. And then we had, you know, the asphalt car, which I thought was the better part of the deal, you know, going with that. But the car wasn't the best in the world. But we did decent. We went to Daytona with it. We finished fourth in the 300. And, you know, we did decent with the car. I always said it, of course, we ran the road course when we went with the 300. And I always said it made better right-hand turns than it made left. But that was basically the story of the statewide. And then from there it was with Dornberger.
99.
99.
That was the car you
And everybody hated that rocket. When it didn't break, it won.
What owner did you spend the most time with over the years? What do you think?
Probably John Tobias with the O car. That was quite a while. Yeah, he was a good friend of mine. And we had, you know, we did our way. We could have done better, but you know, everybody fixed it. It was good.
You drove from Norcia. Well, how long did you spend with her? 3 years. 3 years?
You know, well, best part of 3 years. But maybe 2.5 years when I first started. And then 2 years in statewide. And then, well, 99, and then I went with Very Yellow in 78. All great cars. And we did good in all. Well, Sam ran in 78, and he can tell you what that car was like. I mean, when you got in it, you had all the confidence in the world. You just knew everything was perfect, you know.
You mean Perry Old's car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sammy, you put that car on a pole, didn't you, at Syracuse?
No, that other rat was on the pole, that one pole.
You were up front though, right?
Yeah, we was that side pole.
Yeah.
But it was, man, that car was fast, that thing next to it. So that was the end of that. We went down and the brakes weren't right. And I hit the brakes and hit the inside fence and that was the end of that. It was right at the beginning of the race too. That was the shape.
Biggest win, Sam?
Well, you would have to say one of the 200s was actually the biggest the longest race. I almost won the one at Lebanon Valley, but it was so cold. That was with your dad's car. It was so cold up there. They were burning gear oil and everything to try to keep it warm. It was like 15, 20 degrees or something like that. And they shortened the race by 5 laps. And what's name was leading it? Rena Charlene. I think it was Rena Charlene. And I could see sparks coming out. And I knew it was a matter of time. I mean, I was only like 50 feet behind him. And all of a sudden the checker flag came out. There was nobody in the stands because up at Lebanon Valley you got a big room with a television inside. Everybody was inside drinking that television. But that would have been another.
When it was over with, you were there too.
Oh, of course. I didn't leave like the rest of these guys did.
Speaking of
Actually,
drinking.
I think that's one of the things wrong with the sport. I think all the drivers, they just get in their trawlers and take off. And you got people come down with kids that want to meet the driver and see the car. And back then, we used to put kids in the car, and kids never forgot that. You know what I mean? And I think one of the reasons why sports going downhill is because drivers think they're too good or some damn thing, they just take off, you know?
Well, modifieds don't run last.
Not all the time.
Well, I mean, we were the last show, and you got out of the cars, and everybody came out of the grandstands. You sat on the trailers and waited for a little minutes before.
You didn't have the fancy haulers back then like
No.
they do now.
Right.
They get in there and they.
They didn't run any better either.
Well, Flemington used to get off 11:30 at night, and people were nuts, just coming in there, right, 1 o'clock in the morning. Egypt gets over a lot of times 9:30, quarter to 10, the guys are gone, you know what I mean? I don't know where the hell they're going, they don't drink no more.
Sam, speaking of drinking, didn't you drink some brake fluid at Trenton one time?
Yeah. The guy, it was a car out of Virginia, and I come up and going around, well, anyway, they wanted to check the master cylinder, and they used a Coke can. Well, my buddy that went down with me, he was kind of a cheap guy, and he seen this Coke can opened up, so he put it in the cooler. So I come in for a pit stop, and he said, "Here, have a Coke," you know? And I put the Coke down with brake fluid, man, I thought it all the way down. I jumped out of the car, and there happened to be a little hot dog stand, like we're here to the back wall away, and I went there and I shoved stuff down me, and bread and stuff, and threw up, and that was the end of that. But maybe stop.
Yeah, well, wasn't there, I think it was a 100 lap of Flemington to run in Norcia card, and I remember afterwards there was a story that Kingpin was fell out or something.
That was a car back Memorial.
Okay.
Yeah, it would go up, and I could see the Kingpin working its way up. Somebody wasn't going down, it was coming up. And I'd go and I'd let the wheel go down, and it would wiggle, and go back down. And then I forget who was behind it, they were gaining, and I would get going again, and it would pick the left front up a little bit. I could see the Kingpin coming out, I go, then back down. And I think when I got to the start line, the wheel like fell.
It was a 100 lap or what?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a car back Memorial. But I gotta admit, I've had very great times racing in Canada, and it just, you know, people up there, they just treat you different. I mean, it's a heck of a nice deal. It really is.
I remember, were you driving a car when we went to Rolling Wheels? And there was like no fence on the...
Yeah, I went off over.
And you went off over the side, and then you came back on the other side of the track? I remember that.
Honda had a little short fence.
And then the lift,
And if you got out too far, but you could go around it too.
Well, there was a canal. There was a graveyard over here, and there was a canal. If you missed it, hit wrong, you went out in the canal. The canal was big enough for the barges, though.
Cars went in there.
Huh?
There's been cars that
Oh,
went
yeah,
in there.
there's been cars went in there.
I remember
there
when
was
you-
the Norfolk River one.
Right down there.
They paid you in silver dollars, though.
That was Lebanon Valley.
Was
That was a
Lebanon
match.
Valley? I thought it was Fonda.
No.
Yeah, it was a big, all silver dollars, I remember that.
I got a question for anybody who would know it. Does anybody know how Jack Thompson's doing?
What do you mean by that?
Pretty sick.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was sick, but he was supposed to move to Arizona, but I don't think he ever went, 'cause I seen him up at Eckford.
I know last year he was pretty
Yeah.
bad from what I heard.
Because I went up there to see him, I wanted to see him in case something happened. He was in good spirits, but somebody told me he wasn't even at when they just inducted him in the Hall of Fame, his boy was there, but it didn't look like he was there. It was the crew and everything, because he does have cancer.
Yeah, but it all started over a wreck.
Oh, yeah, made it out, and he got into the throat and everything.
I saw him the end of last year at Utica Rome when I was talking to him, and he said everything was going pretty good, and I haven't seen him or talked to him since then. That was that big race at the end of the year.
I got a question. For Sammy and Billy, what was one of the toughest tracks that you guys raced on?
Oh, boy.
I can tell you one that I hated the most. That was Fonda. That track, I just couldn't figure that thing out. The rest of them I love, but
I had a hard time on
Fonda.
Middletown, New York. I hated the first turn because there was a black spot. There was no lights for like a half a second. You went in and all of a sudden there was no lights, and then all of a sudden the turn was there, and you had to estimate going through that dark spot.
Did you ever fear going on the turn on 5 Mile Point with the big dip down there?
No, I didn't, 5 Mile Point, I think it was 100 lap road up there, that was New York State or something, whatever it was. And, I had no fear. I know the local boys didn't like us coming up there.
You were rough then.
Oh, yeah, so.
Well, that was his uncle that started all that trouble.
So.
Yeah, you just go up there with the 707 and clean clock.
So, I had trouble with like 3 of them. And I said, boys, just let me get out of the car, I'm not no midget, because I used to like to, once in a while, tussle.